What if I told you that the cup of green tea you might already be drinking every morning is only delivering a fraction of what it could? There are three specific things you can add to that tea that dramatically change what happens inside your blood vessels. And the science behind why is genuinely fascinating. I'm Dr. Aria Brooks, urologist and men's intimacy coach. And today, I want to talk to you about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in men's health conversations: blood flow. Not just in a general sense, but the kind of deep tissue level circulation that determines whether you wake up with energy, whether you perform the way you want to in the bedroom, whether your body feels alive and responsive, or sluggish and disconnected. Green tea is one of the most studied natural beverages on the planet. Researchers at top universities have published hundreds of studies on it. Cardiologists recommend it. But here's the thing almost nobody knows. Green tea's full power only activates when it's paired with the right ingredients. Ingredients that work on completely different parts of the same system, amplifying what the tea does in ways that researchers describe as synergistic, not just additive. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how green tea works in your body and how it can boost blood flow even for men over 70, and then walk you through three ingredients that multiply its effects significantly. Stay with me until the end, because the third edition is the one most men have never heard of, and it works through a mechanism I find genuinely remarkable. And before we dive in, drop a comment below. How old are you and where are you watching from? I love hearing from the men in this community.
Before we get into the additions, I want you to understand one thing about your body, because once you do, everything else clicks into place. Blood flow is not automatic. It's actively controlled by a tiny molecule called nitric oxide. Think of it as the open up signal your blood vessels receive. When nitric oxide is released, the vessel walls relax, the artery widens, and blood flows freely to wherever it's needed. When you're young, your body produces this signal easily and consistently. But after 40, something shifts. The inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium, starts to lose efficiency. It produces less nitric oxide. The vessels become stiffer, less responsive. In simple terms, the pipes get tighter and the signal to open them gets weaker. That affects everything: energy, mental sharpness, bedroom performance, even how fast you recover after physical activity. All of it depends on blood moving freely. Now here's where green tea comes in. It contains a powerful compound called EGCG, just remember it as the active ingredient, that directly stimulates your blood vessel walls to produce more nitric oxide. Studies have confirmed it improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and helps arteries become more flexible again. But green tea has one limitation. It works through the endothelium, the same tissue that's already declining with age. So the older you are, the less impact it has on its own. That's exactly why the three additions matter so much. Each one works through a completely different pathway, filling in the gaps that green tea can't cover alone. The first ingredient I want you to add to your green tea is raw ginger. And I want to be specific about why, because it's not just generally good for you, it targets a completely different aspect of circulation that green tea doesn't touch. Green tea works by widening the blood vessels. Ginger works by improving the quality of the blood flowing through them. Here's what I mean. Blood flow is determined by two things: how wide the vessels are and how freely the blood itself moves through them. Blood has a property called viscosity, essentially its thickness. When blood is slightly thicker, or when the cells within it cluster together excessively, it moves more sluggishly, especially through smaller vessels. And it's those smaller vessels, the ones that feed erectile tissue, the ones deep in muscle, the ones in the kidneys and liver, where the exchange of oxygen and nutrients actually happens. Ginger contains bioactive compounds called gingerols that have been shown to reduce platelet aggregation. Essentially, they discourage blood cells from clumping together unnecessarily. The result is blood that flows more freely, more fluidly through the widened channels that your green tea's EGCG has helped open. Think of it this way. Green tea opens the highway. Ginger smooths out the traffic moving through it. Ginger also provides direct anti-inflammatory effects on blood vessel walls. Chronic low-level inflammation in the arterial lining erodes endothelial function over time. It's one of the key reasons circulation declines with age. By calming that inflammation, ginger helps preserve and restore the very tissue that green tea is trying to activate. There's also a thermogenic effect. Ginger slightly raises core temperature, which triggers the body to redistribute blood flow through a completely separate heat-mediated mechanism. So you're getting vasodilation through 3 different routes simultaneously. For preparation, grate approximately 1 to 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger root and steep it in your green tea for 5 to 8 minutes. Fresh ginger has significantly higher bioactive compounds than dried powder, so fresh is strongly preferred here. Before I get to the next ingredient, if you're a man over 50 and you're serious about improving your circulation, energy, and performance naturally, I created something specifically with you in mind. It's called the All-in-One Men's Vitality and Intimacy Blueprint. Inside, I walk you step by step through the exact strategies I use with my private clients. You'll find it linked in the description and pinned in the comments. Take a look when you're done watching. Now, the second edition. The second ingredient is fresh lemon juice. And this one works in a way that directly enhances green tea's ability to deliver its active compounds where they need to go. Here's the problem with most of what we drink and eat. The beneficial compounds in plant-based foods are often unstable in the digestive environment. They break down before they can be absorbed. EGCG, the active compound in green tea, is particularly vulnerable to this. Studies have shown that in a neutral or alkaline digestive environment, a large portion of the catechins from green tea are degraded before they reach the bloodstream. Lemon juice changes that. The citric acid and vitamin C in fresh lemon juice create a more acidic environment in the stomach, one that stabilizes the catechins and significantly improves their absorption. Research has demonstrated that adding a citrus juice to green tea can increase the amount of EGCG that survives digestion and reaches the bloodstream by a substantial margin. Some studies suggest the bioavailability improves by as much as 3 to 5 times compared to green tea alone. In practical terms, you could be drinking the same cup of green tea but getting dramatically more of its active compounds into circulation simply by adding lemon. But vitamin C does more than just protect the catechins. It's also a direct antioxidant that protects nitric oxide itself from being destroyed by free radicals before it can do its job. Nitric oxide is a short-lived molecule. It can be neutralized by oxidative stress before it even reaches the smooth muscle cells it's meant to relax. Vitamin C essentially acts as a shield, extending the functional lifespan of each nitric oxide molecule your blood vessels produce. Use the juice of half a lemon to 1 full lemon per cup of green tea. Fresh lemon, not bottled, because fresh juice retains significantly more active vitamin C. Now we get to the one I find most scientifically fascinating, and this is the addition most men have never heard of in this context. It's raw cacao powder, not the sweetened cocoa powder in most kitchens, but unprocessed, unsweetened raw cacao. To understand why this is so powerful, I need to explain something about how the blood vessel relaxation signal actually works and where it gets interrupted. When nitric oxide is produced, whether by your green tea's EGCG or by the ginger's anti-inflammatory effects, it triggers a cascade inside smooth muscle cells that ultimately produces a compound called cyclic GMP. Cyclic GMP is the actual signal that tells the muscle cell to relax and the blood vessel to open. But here's the critical detail. Cyclic GMP doesn't last. It's constantly being broken down by an enzyme called phosphodiesterase type 5, PDE5 for short. Even as your body is producing cyclic GMP, this enzyme is chewing it up and inactivating it. The net relaxation effect depends on the balance between how fast cyclic GMP is produced and how fast it's destroyed. Green tea and ginger both push on the production side of that equation. They increase nitric oxide, which increases cyclic GMP production. Raw cacao works on the other side. The flavonols in cacao, particularly a compound called epicatechin, inhibit PDE5. They slow down the breakdown of cyclic GMP, so it accumulates to higher levels inside the smooth muscle cells, producing a stronger and longer-lasting relaxation signal. I want you to appreciate the elegance of this combination. Green tea increases production of the relaxation signal. Cacao prevents its destruction. When both happen at the same time, the net effect is dramatically greater than either alone. You're pressing the accelerator and releasing the brakes simultaneously. And cacao also directly stimulates the endothelial nitric oxide synthase enzyme, the same one that green tea activates, giving you a second source of nitric oxide feeding into the same pathway. So you have two independent sources of production, plus reduced destruction of the downstream signal. That's three-dimensional synergy. Clinical research on cacao flavonols has consistently shown improvements in flow-mediated dilation, reductions in blood pressure, and enhanced peripheral circulation. These are the same measurements used to assess cardiovascular health and erectile function. To add it, blend 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw cacao powder into your brewed green tea. Use a small hand frother or blend briefly. Cacao doesn't dissolve as easily as other additions. The combination has a surprisingly pleasant, earthy, slightly chocolatey depth to it. Let me paint the complete picture of what this combination is doing for you. Green tea provides EGCG, which directly activates the endothelial enzyme responsible for producing nitric oxide, opening the vessels through the primary circulatory pathway. Lemon juice dramatically increases the amount of that EGCG that actually reaches your bloodstream, and then shields the nitric oxide produced from being prematurely destroyed by oxidative stress. Ginger reduces blood viscosity so that blood flows freely through the widened vessels, addressing the quality of flow, not just the diameter of the channel, while adding its own anti-inflammatory support to preserve endothelial health over time. And raw cacao inhibits the enzyme that breaks down the downstream relaxation signal, while simultaneously contributing a second source of nitric oxide production. Every single ingredient targets a different step in the same process. There's no redundancy. There is only layer upon layer of complementary support, each one filling a gap the others leave. For preparation, I recommend the following. Brew 1 standard cup of high-quality green tea. Add the juice of half to 1 full fresh lemon. Stir in 1 to 2 teaspoons of freshly grated ginger or steep sliced ginger directly in the tea for 5 to 8 minutes. Then blend in 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw cacao powder. Consume once daily, ideally in the morning when your body is entering its most active period. The nitric oxide elevation begins within 1 to 2 hours and can persist for most of the day with regular consumption. Consistency is everything here. The acute effects begin quickly, but the longer-term benefits, improved endothelial function, reduced arterial stiffness, sustained improvements in circulation, build progressively over weeks and months. Make this a daily ritual, not an occasional experiment. One practical note: because the conversion of compounds in green tea partly relies on oral bacteria, avoid using antibacterial mouthwash immediately before or after drinking this blend. Regular brushing is fine. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s report meaningful improvements in energy, morning vitality, and intimate performance simply by getting their circulation genuinely supported through daily nutrition habits like this one. It doesn't work overnight, but it works because it's addressing the actual physiology, not masking a symptom. Before we wrap up, I want to share something a lot of my viewers ask me: what natural supplements actually deliver results for men's health? After looking at the research and testing what really works, I've narrowed it down to 4 essentials: 1 for stronger erections, 1 for stamina and performance, 1 for testosterone balance, and 1 for prostate comfort. These are all natural formulas backed by science, carefully selected to work together for maximum results. I've linked them below in the description and pinned comment. Check them out and see how they can help you feel your absolute best. And remember, this channel is a safe space where men support each other. Share your thoughts below. Let us know your age and where you're from. As men age, this isn't the end, it's a new beginning. I'm Dr. Aria Brooks, and I'll see you in the next video.